from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Hushain Ali. Let's have a look at the headlines first. A proposal was made to amend the ordinance of Pradeshia Sabha's urban councils and municipal councils. The cabinet spokesman says that debt optimization has not caused any impact to the banking system or EPF. Rains in the southwestern areas will ease from tomorrow. An allowance of 20,000 rupees will be paid to maize farmers. The recorded highest average temperature in the world was reported on Monday. On to those stories and other stories in detail, and your main story tonight is Podujana Peramuna parliamentarian Jayantha Katagura today presented 3 draft bills to the parliament to amend the ordinance of Pradeshia Sabha's urban councils and municipal councils.
A heated condition occurred at this moment at the House. Meanwhile, Speaker Mahinda Rupavahini informed the House that calling up the parliamentarians who bear high post in Parliament to select the committees is not appropriate. Speaker Mahinda Rupavahini said that Speaker, Deputy Chairman of the House, Chief Whip and Opposition Leader enjoy special privileges in the House. In addition, an opposition parliamentarian has been appointed to the COP committee. Therefore, such high-ranked parliamentarians should not be called up for the parliamentary select committees since it is not appropriate with parliamentary tradition. The Speaker informed that the relevant information should be provided to the opposition leader without calling him to the committee. Parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyalla said that since the opposition leader enjoys special privileges, he was recently invited to take part in the COP committee. The President also requested the support of the opposition leader recently in this connection. Therefore, opposition leader is ready to give his support to this matter and he should not be disrupted. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that since the country has faced many financial crises and is the verge of bankruptcy, the opposition leader as the leader of the alternative government should have the opportunity to take part in the committee meetings and question the relevant authorities. Speaker Mahinda Rupavahini said that as the opposition leader, you can call up these top officials to your office and get information from these officials. You should not go into the selected parliamentary committees and sit there. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa questioned that whether he was the power to call up all the government officials to parliamentary committees under the chairmanship of opposition leader and to question them. It is the COP committee that has the power to question the top officials of the country.
In the meantime, Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that the local debt optimization has not caused any impact to the banking system in the country or to the Employees' Provident Fund. He expressed these views at the Cabinet press briefing held today to inform the Cabinet decisions. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the evidence for the safety of depositors of banks are ensured with the sudden increase of the prices of the stock market recently. He said that they assure as a government that the no EPF holder will lose their funds, and the governor of the central bank has informed the parliament in written that they will pay a fixed interest of 9% will be paid for EPF funds. The minister stated that the entire amount of foreign debts to be paid by the 31st of last December was at $37 billion. Cabinet spokesman Ms. Dr. Bandula Gunawardena
further said that the credit facilities that has been availed to maintain the country's economy previously are unsustainable and loans have been obtained for high interest rates in order to pay the installments. The total international debts up to 31st December 2022 is $37 billion. He said that out of it 37% should be paid in the next 5 years, 51% in the next 6 to 10 years and the remaining 12% should be paid after 20 years' time. Minister further said that any politician who is intending to undertake the country in the future should mention the method to pay off these debts and should state it on the policy statements. He said that Sri Lanka has tricked the IMF. He said that they're doing their best as the IMF has been tricked 16 times previously by not being able to fulfill the then agreements made.
The Met Department says that the rainy condition in the southwestern areas in the country will ease to some extent from tomorrow. Meanwhile, the National Building and Research Organization has issued landslide warnings to Ambagamu and Nuwara Divisional Secretariat areas in the Nuwara district. Showers will occur in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts from time to time. Several rounds of rains will experience in the northwestern province as well. Winds up to a speed of 45 to 50 kilometers per hour will occur in the western slopes of the central hills, the northern and the north central provinces in the Puttalam, Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. Heavy winds ranging from 60 to 70 kilometers per hour can occur in the sea areas from Trincomalee to Kankazanture, Mana, Puttalam and Colombo, Galle, Hambantota up to Pothuwil. Owing to this situation, sea areas around the island will become rough with the waves up to the heights of 2.5 to 3 meters. The Met Department therefore informed the fishing and naval communities to avoid these sea areas in their activities. The Mahaveli engineer in the Polgola reservoir had said the two sluice gates of the Polgola dam were open to control the possible floods occurring due to heavy rains experienced in the central hills. A water flow of 2,500 cubic meters per hour is released to the Mahaveli river below the Polgola dam. Therefore, people who live close to the Mahaveli river bank in the Victoria Reservoir region are advised to be vigilant of rising water levels. All schools in the Hatton Educational Zone remain closed today due to heavy rains and winds. The Hatton Educational Zone office said that it is up to the relevant principals in the area to take a decision to open the schools tomorrow. And also the Ceylon Electricity Board says that power outages have been reported from throughout the country due to the prevailing adverse weather condition. The board said that all their call centers are receiving very high numbers of calls and it may lead to longer wait times than usual. They have released a map illustrating the areas where power outages are reported. The Electricity Board urges the public to use their digital channels to reach out them if the hotlines are remaining busy.
The Health Promotion Bureau says that although there are certain control in spread of dengue in some areas, it is not at a satisfactory level. This was revealed at a media briefing held in Colombo today. Consultant Doctor in Community Medicine of the National Dengue Control Unit, Nimalka Panilaheti, said that about 11,000 dengue patients have been reported from the Gampaha district at present. The amount in the Colombo district is about 10,800. 6.5% of the entire dengue cases reported from the Kalatura district, while 6.3% cases reported from the Kandy district. It is a satisfactory matter to be reckoned. 76,000 dengue patients were reported last year. However, in the past 6 months of this year, the amount has exceeded 50,000. During the last week, 1,816 cases were traced throughout the island and it is not at satisfactory level. The amount should be kept at least under 1,000 cases.
The government has decided to pay a sum of 20,000 rupees for the maize farmers to prepare the fields to cultivate maize in the next Maha season. The seed, maize and fertilizer needed to farmers will also be provided free of charge. The subsidy will be given under the Small-Scale Agri-Entrepreneurship Participatory Program implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture. Under this program, farmers of 5 districts have been selected to cultivate maize in the upcoming Maha season. Accordingly, relief will be given to selected farmers in the Hambantota, Monaragala, Anuradhapura, Ampara and Badula districts. An area of 22,000 acres in the districts are to be cultivated with maize. Production of milk, eggs and chicken has decreased in the country due to the lack of maize needed to prepare animal feed during the past period. Therefore, this program has been introduced with the aim of increasing the local production of maize. Accordingly, the Ministry of Agriculture has planned to cultivate maize in 5,000 acres in the Hampantara district and 10,000 acres in the Anuradhapura districts. Several thousand acres of maize cultivation will be carried out in the other selected districts as well.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the subject minister has no ability to change marks of government examinations. At a ceremony held in the Temple Trees today, the Prime Minister says that the country is now at a situation to have common accent in language pronunciation without having differences as regional dialects. The Prime Minister made these comments at the ceremony held to distribute appointments to new officers in the Language Translation Service. State Minister Janaka Wakumura, several state officials and new translators were present at this meeting. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that there are citizens who use both Sinhala and Tamil as their mother tongues. These two languages also differ from place to place in the island. In the southern province, people speak significant Sinhala dialects. Tamil language is also the same. There are differences between the written language and spoken language as well. Now that these language differences are fading away and people are getting used to a common accent, there should be officers in every office with ability to translate these two languages for the benefit of the unilingual individuals. The government is committed to provide such officials to all government offices. In the meantime, the Cabinet has agreed to prepare a time frame to start the proposed light railway project. This was revealed at the weekly Cabinet press briefing today. The government has planned to have talks with Japanese diplomatic group to recommence this light railway project. The Cabinet approved the proposal presented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in this regard. Another proposal to strengthen the health services in the northern province under the financial assistance of the Netherlands was also approved. 75% of the expenditure of this project, nearly 45 million euros, will be obtained from a bank in the Netherlands. The rest of the amount will be provided by the Netherlands government as a donation. The contract to transport coal to the jetty of Lakwaje coal power plant from the Puttalam harbour using light vessels was offered to a private company in India. The Minister of Ports and Aviation Services has presented this proposal to the Cabinet to carry out unloading coal without any disruption from September this year. The relevant agreement will be extended by another year. The Attorney General has approved the final draft bill to amend the Civil Procedure Code. The Cabinet has given its nod to publish the draft bill in the Gazette and then to submit it for the approval of the House.
Minister of Buddha Sasana and Cultural Affairs Vidura Wickramanayake says that required laws will be introduced to prevent all actions that cause stress to religious harmony. The minister stated that no one has right to insult any religion in the guise of freedom of speech and religion. The minister expressed these views participating in a program organized by the President's Media Division under the title One Way for All Towards a Stabilized Country. Minister of Buddha Sasana and Cultural Affairs Vidura Wickramanayake said that in the problem of ruin of artifacts, no one can violate the archaeological ordinance. The government is committed to act in pursuant to the ordinance to make any change in this ordinance. It should be amended throughout the parliament. Required legal draftsmen have been preparing against the distortion of the religious principles. No one will be allowed to defame any religion under the name of democracy and religious freedom. In the same manner, no one can insult religious leaders. The government is now strengthening the required legal framework in this connection. And meanwhile, the Award Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligava Pradeep Nilankadal today announced the dates of the Asela festival of Candy this year. Accordingly, the Candy Asela Perahara festival will be held from the 17th to the 31st of August this year. The traditional erection of cup is to be held in the four Mahadevalias at the auspicious time of 6:12 am on the 17th of August. The Kumbal Perahara will parade the streets from the 21st to the 25th of August. Randoli Perahara will parade the streets from the 26th to the 30th of August. The Kandy Asela Perahara festival will be concluded following the traditional water cutting ceremony on the 31st morning and having Day Perahara on the same day. The traditional handover of sannas to the president to declare the end of the Asela festival is to be held in the evening on that day. About 6,000 police officers are to be deployed for the security of Perahara period in Kandy. Devardhan Nilame revealed these facts at a press briefing held in Kandy this evening.
And here's few more local news items in brief. The Belgium government has agreed to grant required technical support to develop ports in Sri Lanka. This agreement was made at a discussion held recently between Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva and Belgium Ambassador Didier van der Sel. A CTB bus was provided to run along remote areas in the Hambantota district. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena handed over the bus to Minister Mahinda Amaravira recently. Sylvia Lanka Foundation of England donated a stock of health equipment to the Colombo National Hospital. The stock was handed over to the OPD this morning, and Venerable Rajwale Subhuti Thera and several top officials of the Health Ministry were present at this occasion. New panel of members was appointed to the Lear Society in the Colombo Royal College for a period of 1 year. Student Shenuka Dasnaika is the president of this society. QR code system has been introduced to grant donations to Mathura Bodhi development. The National Savings Bank will carry out the system. Accordingly, donations will also be made to Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy and Kuragala Temple in Balangoda.
And meanwhile, the Asian Development Bank has agreed to provide expertise, knowledge and technical assistance needed to reform operations in the water supply sector in Sri Lanka.
And this agreement was made at a meeting held between Senior Advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of the Presidential Staff Sagala Ratnaika and ADB Director Takafumi Kodano at the Presidential Secretariat today. They discussed lengthily the planned monitoring framework of the water supply sector and the measures taken in the connection. Sagala Ratnaika also instructed the officials to review the progress of this work monthly. He further expressed his thanks to ADB Country Director Takafumi Kadono for the support extended to make this program a success.
Stay tuned with international news after this break.
தேசத்தின் செல்வம், மண்ணின் வளம், இதய செழிப்பு அனைத்தும் இணைந்து நட்புடன் கட்டியெழுப்பிய 62 ஆண்டுகால மக்கள் நம்பிக்கை. மக்கள் வங்கி மகிமை மிக்க 62ஆம் ஆண்டு விழா.
Welcome back with international stories. And Israel has carried out airstrikes on Gaza in response to rocket fire from Palestinian militants as Israeli forces compelled their withdrawal from Jenin that occupied West Bank. It follows a major two-day operation inside the city's refugee camp which killed 12 Palestinians. An Israeli soldier was also killed yesterday night during the withdrawal, which triggered more gun battles. Early today, the militant said that it intercepted 5 rockets from Gaza. No militant from group immediately claimed that it was behind the launch, but the Israeli militant said fighter jets struck an underground weapons manufacturing facility used by Hamas, which governs Gaza, as well as raw materials manufacture facility for rockets. The military said that it held the Hamas terrorist organization responsible for all terrorist activities emanating from the Gaza Strip and will face the consequences of security violations against Israel.
In the meantime, the world's average temperature reached a new high on Monday, topping 17 degrees Celsius for the first time. Scientists say the reading was the highest in any instrumental record dating back to the end of the 19th century. Researchers believe that the new global high is a combination of the naturally occurring El Nino event and ongoing emissions of carbon dioxide caused by human activities. Researchers believe there will be more recorded in the coming month as El Nino strengthens. Since the start of this year, researchers have been growing increasingly concerned about rapidly rising temperature on land and at sea. Record spring heat in Spain and in many countries in Asia was followed by marine heat waves in places that don't normally see them, such as in the North Sea.
Moving to Ukraine, and Ukraine authorities say that at least 43 people, including children, have been injured after a missile struck in the car park of a residential building in Ukraine's Kharkiv region. It was believed to be a Russian Iskander missile landed into the town of Pravomorsky. Officials say that there were only residential buildings in the area. A 1-year-old and a 10-month-old were reportedly among the injured. It was said that targeting the residential buildings among the other was a crime from Russia. Russia has not immediately commented on the incident but has previously denied targeting civilians. Earlier on Tuesday, Russia said it had brought down 5 Ukrainian drones aimed at Moscow and its surrounding region but reported no casualties or damage.
And speaking more of weather conditions, at least 7 people died as incessant rains battered Pakistan's Lahore city on Wednesday, breaking a 30-year record. It was reported that the city received 291 millimeters of rain and over a dozen areas recorded more than 200 millimeters of rain. This is the first time that a large amount of rainfall is being witnessed in such a short amount of time, something that has not been seen for the past 30 years. It was attributed the sudden downpours to climate change and strong monsoons. Last year, 238 millimeters of rainfall was recorded.
Welcome back with your sports update. And the Sri Lanka Netball Association says that disciplinary inquiries will be tested against the players who joined the Asian Youth Netball Championship recently, which was held in South Korea. The chairperson of the Sri Lanka Netball Association, Lakshmi, says that the disciplinary actions will be taken against those players, and she revealed these at a media briefing held at the Sports Ministry this morning.
Sri Lanka team won the 3rd place at the Asian Youth Netball Tournament held in South Korea. Some media institutions have leveled accusations of violating discipline by some players during this tournament. Chairperson of Sri Lanka Netball Association Lakshmi Victoria said that the Netball Federation is responsible to conduct an investigation if any act of indiscipline has occurred during the tournament. If these girls have done any wrong act, a disciplinary action will compulsorily to be taken against them. A discussion was held between Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe and a group of representatives of International Rugby Federation at the Ministry of Sports yesterday. The International Rugby Federation has imposed a ban of Sri Lanka rugby, and many positive matters were taken into discussion at this meeting. Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe said that there are a large number of supporters who are dedicated for rugby in Sri Lanka. There are many players, referees and coaches as well. These are all groups get together and will be committed to enhance the game. The minister added that another discussion will be held with the representative of International Football Federation on the 10th of this month.
සම්මේලනයේ 10 වෙනි දින සාකච්ඡාව ලැබිලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ආසියානු පාපන්දු සංගමයත් අපිත් අතර සාකච්ඡාව Zoom තාක්ෂණය ඔස්සේ 10 වෙනිදා පැවැත්වීමට දිනය අපි තීරණය කළා. තියෙනවා සියලු දෙනා එකගත්වයේ පළ කළා.
The South Asian Football Tournament ended in India yesterday without Sri Lanka's participation. The tournament was held with teams from 6 South Asian countries, and Kuwait and Lebanon has invited countries. India and Kuwait teams were qualified for the final match. Both teams tied the game with 1 goal each at the scheduled time. Then the game was decided under penalties. Accordingly, India won the match 5-4 goals.
This was and once again.
Shamari Adapatu, who became the top of the ICC women batting rankings, expressed her views to the media today. Captain of the Sri Lankan women's cricket team, Shamari Adapatu, said that she is happy about the achievement and she had the target to become the world first in batting. Zimbabwe team lost its hope yesterday to qualify for the ICC ODI World Cup tournament this year with the defeat of yesterday's match against Scotland. Scotland won the match by 31 runs. Accordingly, Scotland will be qualified to the tournament under the results of the match to be played against the Netherlands.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing up with Asia. Stay safe. Good night.